And we're live. Oh, God. I do so loathe trying to make sure that these streams... Oh, great. Okay, well, we're going live in 720p, so that's not ideal. Brilliant. Welcome, everybody. Let me open up the chat, see if we've got anybody. Pop that in the overlay. Right, so we are here taking a look at the Halot-X1 from PioCreat. So, little bit of history. PioCreat are the people who originally designed the Halot series and
the Halot Mage.
Creality that Creality went on to produce, but they're best known for pellet extruders. So they're best known for printers that take large amounts of PLA pellets. They funnel them into a nozzle, which then melts them, and rather than turning it into filament, literally extrudes it straight out. So they're best known for that, but they are moving very rapidly and very securely into the resin space. I am going to need a knife. That doesn't feel like that. Feels super sticky. Ugh.
Well, everything you touch is usually covered in resin.
Not everything.
If you've used the resin in the last 3 weeks, everything's got resin on it.
Well, that's the specific reason that one's sticky is because it's got resin on it, yeah. But I don't think I could be held 100%. There's my knife. There's my knife. Right, so Halot, just so we're clear, PioCreat did send us this machine. However, it specifically states in our agreement they have no editorial rights. They are, however, letting us keep this machine afterwards, but there is no payment for the review. You can't buy a good review on this channel. Part of the reason why we unbox these machines live is so that you see what we see. You get to experience exactly what it would be like if one of these turned up on your doorstep. It's as far as I can, it's the fairest way that we can do these unboxings. I do not hide anything. We don't get to say it did something or just not tell you about any of the issues that we might have had. Here we are with the box. One thing I will say about this box very quickly is there's handles on the side of the box, right? Nice handles here. Unfortunately, somebody's taped clean over the handles. There's no way to access the handles because they're completely behind. There you go. You have to slice out the handles. What's that about? Like, what kind of maniac does that? It does imply that you're supposed to, undo the bottom and pull it up? That can't be right. Let's just have a little look.
Well, it'd be easier than pulling the printer at the top.
I don't know that it would be. I mean, in theory, it would be, yeah. But I've been wrong before. Right, bear with me 1 second. Oh, you could have typed that out. Can you type it out? Because I've got to paste it into a little box.
Oh.
So Mike's got a license for Cheaty Box. Hi, Rick. Rick, I owe you a sign, and I have the sign. What I don't have is a box for the sign. I will have a box for the sign, and I will be sending it to you. So let's open this up. Mike is, we have some licenses for Cheaty Box Pro.
It's so small, I can barely read what it says.
You've got glasses on.
It's tiny.
Whoa, I can't. I mean, you could just type out from the picture that's in the Facebook chat. Right, let's switch over to top view. Look at it. So, one thing I will say is I do not, and I've been through this before, I am not a fan of Kickstarter machines. I'm even less of a fan when those Kickstarter machines already exist and are from an established company. Kickstarter is supposed to be a platform where you go out to a community for seed funding. The community comes together, help you get your idea off the ground. A lot of companies are using it to forward finance their production line, and it de-risks their launches because they already know how many machines they've sold before they start production. That's not the case with PioCreat because these machines already exist. There's no development required to get these machines over the line. They've already got them. So they were at TCT Detroit. They were and have been at a number of different shows recently. They are getting machines out there. So these machines already exist and they're using Kickstarter as the platform to launch them. Let's take a look at what we're looking at in the box. So first and foremost, we have a nice kettle cord. This is a bib for the printer, I guess. Like a little tray to stop you getting all your resin everywhere. Is that everything that's in the top bit?
Why are these codes so unnecessarily long?
Oh, well, the problem is that if they weren't that long, you could bet that the codes would have been cracked by now. G2 Box Pro is not a particularly cheap piece of software, so I do understand why they make them quite hard to.
Do you know how hard I had to earn this one at Formnext? You know how hard I had to earn that.
Yeah, you did have to work for it. All right, all done.
So when you go to Formnext, after sort of like the show's finishing, a lot of the booths start having a bit of a drink and they say it's a party. It's not. But they bring out this stuff that they call Chinese wine. It's not wine. It's methylated spirits.
Yeah. It's poison.
And while James was smoozing someone on another booth, I was given the task of getting the G2 Box license. And in order to do that, I drank many, many shots of this terrible potpourri smelling methylated spirits.
Yeah, it was bad.
Only once I've drunk enough of it, they went, here's your license. I was like, oh, cool, thanks. I'm going to go away and be sick now. Terrible drink. Are you still there?
I am still here. You typed it in wrong.
No, I haven't.
You did. There was a P and you typed an O, but it's fine. I fixed it.
Really little.
Hold on. So, okay. So how do I... Oh, this is already annoying me. Do love how... I get that it's an expensive piece of software and they're doing their best to make sure they can... There we go. This license is not currently bound to any PC. Fine. My licenses. Status, initialization. What does that mean? Does that mean I have to wait?
I can't remember. If anyone hasn't seen this printer, the way this printer works, it's completely mad. Whoever designed this, I should imagine, was on Chinese wine.
Yeah. So let's just talk about that for a second, about exactly what it is. This machine does. In fact, I'm going to get it out of the box first. And then I'm going to show you, and you're going to be like, "What are you talking about?"
It's like they gave a child magic mushrooms and some crayons and said, "Design me a 3D printer," and this is what they've come up with.
So let's So this is a 16K printer. Here we go. Printer is 16K, and that's not all. So this printer basically has every feature you would want a resin printer to have. It has auto refill. It has it has auto leveling. It does not require any leveling of the bed. It does not require any leveling of the build plate. Japanese fortified wine, but manufacturers get a bit sucky. Yeah, more than likely. And I seriously think it's one of those examples of where they go, let's see if we can make the foreign people drink this. And then they drink it and they go, I can't believe you drank that. We use that to clean out our diesel cars back home.
Yeah, the trouble is the first 2 or 3 are absolutely terrible, but after the first 2 or 3, you start getting a liking for it.
Yeah. I didn't.
No, I noticed you didn't drink any.
Oh, no, the first year I went.
The first year you did, but last year I noticed one of us drank a substantial amount and the other person drank none.
Yeah, that does sound like what happened, yeah.
It's the weirdest drink and all because you lose all feeling in your forehead.
Yeah. Right, so let's take a look at the VAT. Because, not the VAT, the build plate. Because
now, the build plate does do something really clever.
Build plate alone is bonkers. So let me just put this onto autofocus. Right. Let me turn this screen so you can see what we're working with here. Right, this is the VAT. This is the build plate, right? So the build plate does this. Oh, if I can make it do it. You see, the build plate is flat, slotted, but when you press these, I don't know if you can see, this moves. And that is how you get your prints off of the build plate. There we go. So no more scraper.
But that's not the maddest thing about this printer.
It's not, no.
That's tame. That's tame. That's a good idea. If it works, brilliant.
So here's a question. How does that... I feel like there must be like a thing that... Is there like a... Is it... No! Is it motorized?
Well, everything else is.
Motorized clamps? That's mental if that's true. Hold on. Let me just pull this out. Right, so something that we don't have with this particular version is we don't have the auto refill, which is fine because we rarely use auto.
I've never used one.
That's what this cable in here is for. So you can actually just tuck that away down there and you haven't got to worry about that. This is the VAT, which unclips from the sides to come out. Has got a huge pouring spout on the top there. Comes pre-tensioned PCF.
No, it hasn't got a laser. That would be almost normal for what this printer does.
Yeah. So let's pop this back in. Oh, how does it go back in? Oh, you literally put it back in like that, and then so let me put this in from the back, right? So the way this goes in is that slots in like this and then closes in at the side. Nice and secure, no tools, love it. Not really sure I understand how the build plate attaches because moves, but then there's like little pin bits that are up here and I feel like it like...
Yeah, but to be honest...
Go on.
It might not actually fix because of the way this printer works.
No, it has to fix. The build plate can't move under pressure because if it did, then whenever you were printing, you would never be able to get consistent layers.
Is it locked in by the hood?
No. I can see where it locks in, and if it does what I think it does, we have got a we've got a 3-month license. All right, that's a little cheap.
Well, the one I'll give you is a year, so
yeah. All right, we've got gloves, masks, a qualified certificate. Nice. Right, let's open up Tutu Box. And still, right, I'm going to turn it on because I think it might do something weird or cool when I turn it on. So let's find out. Bear in mind, I can't see what you guys can see, so it may.
Well, we can't either because the hood's closed.
No, maybe the kid. So the touch screen's up here. There's some really weird interface connections in this. So there's a USB-C connection in the back. Then there's a full-size Type A, and then there's like a printer cable one. Welcome to the Halot series. Please select your language. Language, English, area, international, next. Thank you for using. Agree. Oh, I've got to connect it to my Wi-Fi. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. I can live with that, though. Hold on. Let's open up. Do.
Where's the USB port on it?
So there's a Type A on the top, and there's a USB-C sort of at the back. I don't know what the USB-C would be for. Connected, next. Okay. Settings. Okay. So what? Sorry. So the implication is we just pour resin in and off we go. That makes me feel super uncomfortable. That can't be true. Oh, it might be though. Like, okay. Hey Matt, is the USB on the side again? No, it isn't. So the USB port is right here. It's a Type A USB port on the top. There's a full-size printer port on the top.
Does the USB go up when the hood goes up?
No.
So if you've got a USB stick in there and you lift the hood up, and you just
hold on. There's a cutout. There's a cutout. Let's find out. USB stick in. Hood doesn't touch it.
That's cool. Yeah. All right.
Hood doesn't touch it. Hood goes down. Doesn't not even close. Maybe the USB's for this creative way of domination. I suspect the USB port is how you plug in the auto refill system. So there's an auto refill system that's outside the printer that you can put resin into.
It will. It will connect to that.
I would assume that it would connect to that. Interestingly, does that mean that we can connect via Wi-Fi?
And you've still not seen the maddest thing this printer does.
I don't think you're going to see that until I don't think you're going to see that until we actually print with it.
Until you start the print, you're not going to see it.
Yeah.
But just when we do start the print, lift the hood up so we can see it happen.
I don't know if it will let you.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, it might not let you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, maybe, but I don't know. Hold on. Oh, that's already annoying. I have to sign in to Pixup to be able to get a...
I don't think, from what we've seen in this printer, it doesn't appear like there's any sort of filtration system listed for it.
No.
So I think it's probably got to be for the auto refill.
Hold on. All right. Go back to my downloads. Pop that in there. Oh, okay, hold on. Do I want to reverse generate? Yeah. Okay. So let's just have a look at the settings. Bottom layer count's currently set to 4. Exposure time set to 1.5. Bottom exposure set to 30. So that's probably about right. So, okay, so build volume in this 211 millimeters by 118 by 200 mil on the Z. This is a 16K printer. So
this is what you would be using to print miniatures with.
Yeah. I mean, I want to be clear. So it says on the, here we go, where are we? It says on the Kickstarter that we are looking at, there's a few mad things that it does. Yeah, top down, 10.1 inch build area. Pixels are 14 by 19 ohms. So that does mean they are using pixel sublimation to get to 16K. But they've got a few little tricks up their sleeve. Let's see if there's still lots of splatter. Don't know. Let's find out. Right. I do not have any 16K resin at the moment. I only have some Sunlu resin. There is some 16K resin that is coming for this. Probably it is a Creality though. So I want to be really clear about this link between PioCreat and Creality. PioCreat designed the original Halot series. Creality bought the design and then decided they were going to go into production with cheaper parts, which resulted in, let's say, a less than ideal experience for the Halot Mage, right? Technically speaking, had they have stuck to the original design, they would have got a better printer. This printer is not sold by Creality. This printer is being sold directly by
it is not the Mage.
This is not the Mage. But that being said, PioCreat probably still have a relationship with Creality. So, and they may even be, you know, I don't know what that relationship is. Right, let's pop this open. There's just so many weird things in this. Oh, I suppose I should put gloves on, otherwise I'm going to get flagged, aren't I? Probably not. All right. Oh, look, regular-sized hand people gloves. That's cool.
That's because you've lost weight.
Yeah. Right. The Mage was trash. So the Mage was not a good launch. I don't think anyone's going to get away from that.
I've got a friend who had a Halot Mage, and his worked flawlessly.
Did it?
Ground affected.
Oh, right. Right. So again, I want to be clear. This is a standard resin that we're using, and right now I'm just using.
That's 8K resin.
Is it?
I think so.
No, it's just dark grey. It's not 8K resin. It's not 8K and it's not 16K. It's just.
No, they do 14K, didn't they?
Yeah, they do a 14K. Yeah.
Which is a garbage file.
It's a pain to print with. The problem is, right, is you are trying to print with a. You're trying to print with a resin, a 14K resin on not a 14K printer. So I don't know if that actually makes a difference.
Don't know.
But I know we've had problems with it.
I went through 10 litres and got 3 successful prints.
Didn't notice that we had some packaging there. Do we have that the other side as well?
Yeah,
we do. So I'll say this. They are using every available bit of space for screen. Like, when I say there is a finger's width,
there's barely any print.
Maybe mix two 8K resins together and get 10K. Rick, this is why we don't get invited nice places. It's suggestions
logic
like
is-
that.
The logic is sound.
Yeah, the math is there. I'll grant you. The math's there. I can't argue with that. But it is why we don't get to go nice places. Right, so let's come out of that. Let's slice. Let's take the USB stick.
I can't
I'm
wait to see
just
this start.
doing... What's that?
I can't wait to see this start.
Save the slice. Oh. Is there what you need to install? Chi2 box mount. I'll do that later. I think you can slice via Wi-Fi, but for right now, I'm just gonna put this print on and see whether or not it prints. So the claim here is that there is zero setup, right? The claim here is that you get it out of the box, you put resin in, and off you go. There is no leveling of the build plate. There's no Z offset to set. There's nothing. So we are going to see if that is true. Oh, interesting. You can set a bunch of print parameters on the machine. So that implies that you can send model not found. Okay. So what does that mean then? Does that mean you just put an STL file on there and it slices it on the machine? Why would you have Chi2 box at all if that's the case?
Well, they never gave you a license. Oh, no, they did. They gave you a free
No,
box.
they did. There's a Chi2 box license. And to be clear, it's in there. It's in there.
There's a profile in there.
There's a profile for this in there, yeah. Export model. Right, let's just stick this on there as an STL file. Are there sliced models on the drive already? Don't know what that is. Software user manuals. Don't know what that is. Okay, we are going to try sticking that back in and see whether or not it finds the STL file. It does. What?
So why would you need Chi2 box then?
After importing 3 seconds into the print list. No, that is... No, it just has detected the thing that I put in there because it's a CTB file.
Right.
Please close the door before operating.
Oh.
So I do have to. You should still be able to see it, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's before we do anything else. Let's zoom in so that you can see what this. I do like the idea of the VAT moving. I don't. Oh God.
Stop spoiling it for a tuner.
We'll see it. We'll see it in a minute. But like, I don't like it doing that at all. Oh, yeah, that's plugged in over there. All right, hold on. Right, okay. We're gonna see what it does. Like, we're gonna see what it does.
No, Hot Tuner's actually picked up the Chi2 box slice.
Yeah, it has picked up the Chi2 box slice. Because it's saying it's a CTB file. So, right, print. God help me. Start. So you are seeing this correctly. So has that gone? Oh, it has. Right, the build plate has locked down. It doesn't make sense. You have to add supports. Yeah, I think. Yeah, to be fair, I think it has picked it up. It just didn't detect it the first time.
For anyone who's watching this, that's the light array and the VAT moving up and down.
Yeah. So this here is the full lighting array. This is the full light array and then the full VAT. And that's all moving.
And the build plate stays still.
And the build plate just stays up there.
Whoever designed this, 100% on drugs.
I think it's cool. It's different. I appreciate different and moving the tech forward. VAT moving is cool. I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying.
Like the hay gears where it blows air and tilts the vat to release. Yeah. But this is taking it to a whole nother level.
You are moving an awful lot of weight when you are you're moving an awful lot of weight up when you're doing that. Now, I assume the reason they're getting away with it is because if you have the auto refill on the side, you keep the minimum amount of resin in the vat at any one time, and then it constantly tops it up as you're doing it. What that means is that there's less chance of fails, there's less chance of splatter. What I can't see is whether or not this is doing anything in...
At all.
Well, no, it is moving up and down.
Yeah, it is moving up and down, but like you've got no idea.
Well, when do you ever have any idea if it's doing anything?
Well, usually you would hear the pill force on the FEP.
Well, they still would have that. I can't hear it, but you would still have that. I will say the fans in the back. I don't know if you can hear. The fans in the back are quite loud.
Barely.
You're not moving a lot of weight on the build plate. So you're not moving a lot of weight on the build plate, but you are moving a lot of weight on the Z-axis.
What you are moving is the most expensive part of the printer.
Yeah. So to be fair, dual Z-axis, right? With dual Z, with dual Z, with not just dual rods, but dual lead screws. But you are moving the whole UV array and the vat all at the same time.
And the resin.
And the resin that's in there, right? Now, admittedly, you aren't moving the build plate, and therefore you aren't moving the model. You're peeling everything away underneath. I'm all for figuring out new ways to do things. This to me feels a little bonkers. It feels a little bonkers.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out what is that? Just like a little.
Is it to go over the vat if you've?
Oh no, it can't go over the vat surely, because it's got like a bottom to it. You put it over the vat, then it would drip, wouldn't it? Let me see on the video, see whether or not they've got a. Any of their pictures? Have they got like? No, none of their pictures
show what that is.
Just show what that is for. Yeah, none of their pictures show what that's for. So I
wonder if once the print's finished, you put that over the vat and it's got a drip tray and everything in case any supports come off, they fall in there and not in your vat.
Yeah, maybe. 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 They haven't got any pictures of how you use it. It's weird because it's new. I'd just like to see tests. Yeah, no, and you know what? Genuinely, just because it's different doesn't mean that it won't work. I'm going to stand by the point that I think it's absolutely mad as a way to do it. There's never been a point where I've been like, oh, I wish all of this liquid and light would just move all the way up. But hey, like, I suppose it's no weirder than using resin cured by UV to make tiny little figurines and then make them fight in made-up battles governed entirely by dice rolls. I don't suppose any weirder than that.
You're
really
weird. You're weird.
I'm weird, yeah.
Just because I'm on my way to being the greatest.
The overall design is not one of beauty. I will say that, right? This is a...
You know what it reminds me of? The old Macs.
Yeah, it does remind me a little bit of like one of the old Macintosh before they were Macs.
Yeah.
That white and bold colour. What's the build size again?
118.
Build size. Sorry.
118 by 200 on the Z.
Don't just say things.
It is.
It's 211 by 118 by 200 on the Z.
Yeah, I had two of them.
Okay.
Yeah, that thing is a drip tray you attach to the...
All right, fair enough. We'll see that in a minute. How long is this going to take?
Yeah, I presume it depends on how much resin you've got in the vat as well. Otherwise, it could just dip straight in the resin.
No, I think the vat... So to be fair, the maximum fill line is quite low on this. Reminds me of the Da Vinci... Yes, it does remind me of the Da Vinci Junior. That's right. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But I will say this, there's very little in wasted space here. There's a fist at the back, which houses all of the motherboard, all of everything, all the electronics, all the Z-axis motors and everything. There's a fist's width at the back, and there's a finger's width either side, the front and left and right. Everything else is taken up by vat, light source, screen, everything else. So it's not a crazy wasted design. To see if did the heater work straight away? What? So what now? I don't know. Maybe. I don't. Well, I've not got the. It says the feed heating isn't on, but I also haven't got the. You've got to bear in mind as well. I haven't got the auto refill yet. I think that's coming with some resin, so I don't know if it heats the resin outside of the heater, outside of the machine, or if there's a heater actually in here. But I haven't touched anything, and it's printing. So, yes, it is probably. I don't know. This is a 12-minute print overall, so we should know pretty quickly. There's 10 minutes left. It's only 58 layers. I'm doing the exposure test from Frozen because, frankly, it just seemed like it's a nice thin print, and I just want to see whether or not something sticks to the bed. It'd be interesting to see how well the LCD cable is attached and what strain relief it has and the number of uses it has before replacing. Yeah. Excellent question. So I don't know. Again, it's hard to see because you can't really see through the screen. So there is a cable that is in the back right here. It's right in the middle of the axis. And that isn't under tension right now. So I would say the strain relief looks pretty good. Best exposure test to use. There you go. Straight from the resin printing god as well. So we know that it's good. I think, to be fair, I think the heater is in the top up. I don't know if there's a heater in the main body. Let's see if it says. Does it specifications? Yeah. So there are a couple of really cool features with this as well. So I like the fact that it's got this dynamic screen. I like the fact that it's got this dynamic screen, which is where it only lights up the UV where you're printing. It doesn't light the whole UV array, and then the screen dictates where the UV gets through. What I will say, their claim with that is that it will increase the lifespan of your screen. I kind of agree with a caveat, which is that if you always print in the middle of your build plate,
you need to move the print.
Then you're going to wear.
Yeah, you need to move the prints around the printer.
So you'd have to move your prints around the screen or around the build plate to try and actually make use of that, right? Can you do multi-exposure tests like the Anycubic? Excellent question. I don't know. Let's have a look. Intelligent layout. Combined with the zone exposure, the software provides intelligent layout recommendations to optimize layout, evenly distribute pressure on the frequently used LCD areas, reduce the chance of bad pixels. Highly collimated, yeah. Top-mounted floating touchscreen, yeah. Sleeker, modern appearance. So there is a chamber heater that's built into the. What are you? Okay, so it's not. Oh my god. So it's not. Okay, so there are two heaters in this. There is one heater that is outside of the printer that heats the resin in the pump. There is another heater that is underneath this vat. So there is a vat heater in this. And that is also attached to the thing that's moving up and down all the time. So all the things that are moving are the heater, the vat, the screen, and the full UV array. All of that is moving on 2 lead screws. I don't know if you can do multi-exposure. I'm going to need to ask them. It doesn't say on here that the zoned exposure, but the zoned exposure is literally so that you only got that. It also applies intelligent layout recommendations. Go-to slicer, Cheaty Box Pro, yeah. Simplifies resin handling, automatic resin feeding and recycling resin. So the resin heater is the external one that's in the pump. But then there's also a vat heater that's inside. So there's 2 heaters on this, which is good because you don't want to be introducing cold resin to an already preheated vat because you'll get temperature shock. So that is good. Real-time weight monitoring. It automatically weighs and detects the remaining weight of a bottle of resin in real time. What did you just say? Automatically release the build plate. Yeah, LCD screen protector as standard. Resin wrap is one-click printing. Using the official resin, the preset parameter package will automatically select the printing parameters need to not be adjusted. That's mad. USB print media or Wi-Fi slice file. Yeah, Reality Cloud or okay. I mean, it's ticking a lot of boxes, isn't it? Is it me or is James's voice out of sync with his movements? Is it?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it is out a bit.
Is that out of sync? I don't know how to stop that.
Speed up your voice. Yeah, that's better.
There you go. Yeah, so the bottles are RFID coded, but that RFID will only work if you have the auto feed system, which we don't have at the moment. We should have it coming. It's not here yet. And we just wanted to get this out of the box so we could start printing with it, and then we'll include the RFID stuff when we start when we're actually finished printing. Over here, I have got a little tub of IPA. You'll notice that I am wearing gloves before anyone gets on me about that in the comments section again. Six more minutes. Please do not place any items in the bottom. Oh, okay.
What, did you put your stickers on
So
it?
it does come with.
Did you put one of your stickers on it?
Pardon? My stickers.
I kept mine in the car so that Lauren doesn't see them until tomorrow when she's at work.
Yeah. I don't like resin pumps. I don't know why they keep adding them. So, under normal circumstances, Tuner, I would agree, right? Because invariably, providing that you've topped the vat up, then there would always be enough resin in your vat to do the vast
Unless you're doing a printer and you're doing a big
case. Yeah, unless you're doing something absolutely massive and the vat's not big enough to do full build volume or something like that, then I kind of agree. This one is different. So they are trying to keep the minimum amount of resin in the vat at any one time, to keep the weight down and to keep the risk of spillages down as well, because this vat is moving up and down. So under normal circumstances, I would be inclined to agree. Generally speaking, on the M3 Max, the pump we got for the Frozen, the Apex, even when we had the Starfield, we never used the auto refills. They are unreliable.
The M3,
they normally are an issue.
The M3 is next to me now. Tucked around the back of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Normally they're a third Titan. Do you know, it's interesting you say that. We've probably got a couple of Titans on the horizon. So I've been going on a couple of painting live streams with
who paints Warhammer that James is 100% uninterested in.
To be clear, on his live streams, or when he does his community ones, people paint all sorts of stuff. They don't just paint Warhammer. And he wants to do a Titan. He wants to do a Titan. Now, I've made it clear he is a commission painter, right? So we're not just talking about somebody who paints for the fun of it or the not fun of it, like me. He's someone who paints, you know, as a job. So it will take him probably a year to paint all the panels, all the torso, everything, because he's got to fit it in between other commissions. He can't just spend all his time painting Titan parts for himself, right? So anyway, we're going to embark on that, and then Mike wants to do another Titan as well because he's got new fancy friends and he wants to show off.
I've been learning to play Warhammer. I'm not saying I'm going to be the best player in the world at it, but I probably am. I've built and amassed quite a large army. I've painted a lot of stuff. My army is absolutely massive, and what my army hasn't got is a Titan. So I've looked around online, and for my army, it doesn't appear anyone has painted a Titan for my army. So, sort of think.
Oh no! The heater is blowing the resin from the build plate all over.
Oh, that's not ideal, is it?
Oh, it's everywhere.
Oh.
Oh, that's a pickle.
Ah.
Oh, God. Oh, still doing it.
Oh, that's quite the quandary, isn't it? Well, it was all shiny and new.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, right. Everyone witnessed that wasn't my fault, right? Everyone saw. Before someone writes, oh dear, what a mess. Yeah. So, oh. Oh God. Oh, it's so sticky and everywhere. Am I going to have to actually use a bit of IPA to clean this up? I bet I am. Oh, it's all over the handles. Oh, no.
Good one, Mick.
Oh. Oh, God. It's like being in a KFC. Oh, it's just all sticky and yuck. Up his sleeves.
Maybe they did and they just ignored it.
So, do you know what? That could genuinely be fixed really easily.
Shut the heat off when the print
All
finishes.
it has to do, just turn the damn fan off when the print finishes. If you turned the fan off, it wouldn't blow the resin everywhere. All right, that wasn't great.
Has it at least printed it?
So it has at least printed it, though. I want to be really clear about how this build plate attaches, because once again, build plate completely loose. There are 4 pins, 2 either side. There's pins here, front and back. They're motorized, and when the print starts, the pins go down and they fix the build plate. Cool, but what a point of failure. Because there's absolutely no way that I can see to get this top cover here that the screen and everything is in off. So if these 4 motorized pins, if any of those fail for whatever reason, you can't get into this to replace them. That seems like a really bizarre thing to do. So, right, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this off. Well, yeah. We have got a print, right? We have got a print. So there's at least that.
Get the little mini scraper.
Don't
no,
need
I mean
to.
just to clean it off.
Don't need to, remember? Because... Oh. Did that just crack it? Oh, you swine. Did it not come off? Oh, no, it did. It just held on by suction now. There we go. Look at that. No scraper needed. To do like that. I don't like this. Yeah, straight over there as well. We can all agree that I didn't do that, right? Just want that noted. There is a really annoying thing. So this little wire here is for the it plugs into the refill thing. There's not a way to tuck this out of the way that I can see. Oh, I'll just put it down there. There we go. Oh, brilliant. It printed with a mess aside. So yeah, it did print. Let's just have a look and see what we're looking at here. Because, oh, okay. Oh. Now, again, I want to be clear that the resin that I'm using is just some Sunlu resin that I had laying around. So if their resin needs different print parameters, then obviously I don't know what those print parameters are, right? Because I've just gone with the stock. I've just gone with the stock profile, and then I've gone to print. But we're only at an hour, and let's be clear, I did just stick this straight on.
Getting the chisel box and the profile done.
Yeah, yeah. 0 leveling, 0 setup. Right. Let's see if we can get this to screen round so I can see. Right, let's see if we can get the camera to focus on this. Am I going to focus that close? Probably not. Oh, yeah. Okay, so print test.
Yeah.
There we go. Is that clear? Everyone see that? Yeah. Print test has come out pretty good. However, if we go to the back, what you can see is
same as the frozen with all the holes,
ridges, right? Exactly. So the only thing I'll say to bear in mind is that you are always going to be
the print test is
raft.
the only thing that you don't print on a raft and supports.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm just saying, just in case there is anybody out there, you're going to spend the rest of the evening cleaning the printer in the bed. To be fair, the printer has just wiped out. Like I've wiped it and it's fine. But and then this is the print test. Where are we? Here we go. As it came off the printer, so obviously it's not cured or anything, and I've literally just dipped it in IPA, so it probably would be a little cleaner if I put it in like a centrifuge one or something. But look, let's be clear. We went from in the box to out the box and printing in
that includes
under an hour, with the first print taking 15 minutes.
If you haven't got jitty box and you've got to load your card up.
So, I mean, let's be clear, that worked, right? It did work. The fans, so there's 2 fans that are on the back that I assume must be cooling the power supply. Then you've got a fan that's underneath this, which is the resin vat heater. So let's go into the settings then. Settings. System settings. No. Feeding module, cleaning, print settings, print parameters. No. Halot box, no. So, I mean, I'm not seeing a way to turn on or off the vat. So saying that, there was, in the link I was sent, there was firmware. So let's download that. Right, so the fans have just turned off. So they don't stay on permanently. Unfortunately, they just didn't turn off when really they should have done. Let's try plugging this back in. Seconds. Am I supposed to have done something else with that? So I think issue that was caused can be fixed with could be fixed in software. I don't know. I've 7 resin printers and they don't take a lot of setup. So yeah, depends on the machine you've got. So quite a few machines now, the bed comes leveled but quite a lot of them do still suggest that you do a Z offset setup once you get the machine. And they normally
don't get me wrong, doing a Z offset, it's fairly quick and it's fairly easy if you've done it before. Yes.
I like the innovation in this, but I'm not seeing anything that makes me need it. So that's fair, right? That is fair. What I will say is it is 16K. There are other 16K printers. It does claim that it prints very quickly, but to be clear, I haven't seen what the print parameters are around that. It's relatively compact. I'd like to have seen a power button around the front rather than...
Power button around the back doesn't bother me as long as the USB is not in a... So, behind our chair here is the frozen AKS. I know we say we like the USBs on the front. It's here. And I've broken 3 USBs with my chair.
Yeah. I like USBs on the top. I like power buttons on the front and USBs on the top. That's where I want them. All right. That is now doing a software update, so we'll leave it to do that. I don't think there's too much more to it than that, really. I mean, look, there's other things that are innovative. It might be. It might be. I don't know. It might be. But let's be clear, before the software update, it printed, right? It printed this. So it does the job. I will agree that not ideal that it just yeeted a bunch of resin all over the front of the printer. But yeah, buy a low profile USB. No, because then you'll never be able to get it out again. You'll stick it in, and I guarantee you'll never be able to get it out again. You've got to bear in mind, Mike's fingers are the size of a regular person's whole hand. Giant fingers they are. Just sausages stapled to a steak. Yes, that's all he is. So, look, you're not wrong. The reality is that it's still a resin printer, right? It's not setting any land speed records. It's not doing something completely unique. It's doing it in a weird way, but it works. At least the innovation hasn't harmed its ability to achieve its actual job. It's not locked into an ecosystem, so you're using Chi2Box, which, you know, fine. You can use the basic version if you don't want to buy the pro version. You're using open source resin, so I've just used Sunlu resin, and the basic parameters clearly work. So you're not locked into their resin. Although I will say, if you want to use their auto refill, I don't know whether, I mean, I'm assuming it has to be their bottle that goes into it, and I don't know. So their
refill is an actual unit, isn't it?
Bottle.
Yeah,
it's like a little caddy that sits by the side of it. Yeah, and then the bottle.
So it depends on the Starfield that has a rubber cap on it.
So the printer prints it better. It's fair, but I want to be clear. We've had machines on here that don't. Right? It feels like that's a low bar. That it should just that it works, and that's somehow
on the first unboxing they haven't worked.
But we have had multiple machines of failed Kickstarters and of successful Kickstarters.
And printers are well on Kickstarter.
The machine
printers are well on Kickstarter at all.
Yeah. We had the original Elegoo Mars before they did the firmware updates, and the original Mars garbage fire. You had to do your own. You had to level your own bed. You had to do your own Z offset. My screen died after 2 prints for no reason. Like, do you know what I mean? Like. I think the difficulty is that we're, and I hate to say this, but we're in a post-bamboo printing world, which is that the expectation now is that you get your printer out and it just does the thing that you want it to, and that is the barest minimum these machines should achieve. But it wasn't that long ago that wasn't the standard. There was loads of setup to get these machines working, or there was loads.
And the point of a live stream is when you unbox it, this is what someone should expect, work or not.
Yeah.
We're not paid by the company, so if it doesn't work, it's not like we're not getting paid.
Yeah, the Lurge. That was an absolute garbage fire. I hated that machine. Same goes with things like the what was the Hope?
Oh, the
what was it called in the end?
Hydra.
The TiVo rebrand. Hydra.
Just
the Hydra that we had.
Piece of electronics to ever be invented.
Yeah. Then you had
the electronics in your Iron Man you've just built is more sophisticated than what was in that Hydra.
Yeah. Hydra. It's really terrible. But look, you're not wrong that feels like a low bar to say, hey, look, well, it works, so cool. I don't think it worked on Joel's live stream, to be clear. I think Joel had issues that meant that he couldn't get a print off. I don't know if he actually got a print off at the end. I'll be honest, I did turn off before he finished. But this one prints, and prints nice. Like, does what it says on the tin. And I get that feels like a really low bar, but there's been a lot of machines that haven't achieved that bar, right? So at the very least, if you were to buy this, and to be clear, we haven't done a review yet. I am not advocating that you do buy it. If you do choose to buy it, we don't have an affiliate link. So we have no financial incentive towards the success of this machine in any way, shape or form. As I said at the beginning of the live stream, we do get to keep this one, but we are not paid for the review, and we aren't getting a commission if any of these machines sell with an affiliate link or anything like that. Yeah, it does what it says on the tin. It does the print. I hope when we do the review, hopefully the stuff will turn up. My OG Saturn is still working and prints as normal. For what I need, does a job. I think it's only 2K as well. Yeah, so the 16K on this really is to try and pick out that detail on miniatures, right? And that's going to be, yeah, that's what we're going to need to try and pull out. So
we've got a 12K printer, an 8K printer, and a 4K printer.
What's
the Elegoo you've got? 12K.
Is that 12K? Yeah.
Oh, we've got the Ultra print down here. It's 12K.
Maybe.
Yeah, so
the Ultra print does what it's in. The case and the base of wherever the residue is. Yeah. So I will say that the resin flying around like an old washing machine definitely does need addressing. I still use my Saturn 2 all the time, and I have awesome quality. So we're still using our Saturn. So the Saturn Ultra is the one that we've got. Can you see the difference? I'll be honest. I want to be clear. We've printed a single thing on this.
And it's a print
test. So, like, it's a print, and it's a print test. Like, I'm not saying that you can see the 16K quality.
Maybe for the review, we'll print a 4K, an 8K, a 12K, and a 16K, and we'll see if we can tell the difference.
I don't know. I look forward to the Athena 2 as of right now. The Athena 2 is a really nice machine. That's working on nano DLP and does look like it's ticking a hell of a lot of boxes. It's still a very traditional machine, except it's gold, and that's always cool. And we are going to be getting one of the Athena 2s, but we specifically asked for a production unit. So the machines that are out at the moment are pre-production machines that have been provided to YouTubers. We specifically said, I want to review the machine that when people
I've been having video calls with Athena for nearly a year now. We first see them at the the rep rap at Oxford. Smurf.
Oh, Smurf.
Yeah, we see them at Smurf last year. Their original printer, and it was one of the very few things that was there because, to be honest, it was not worth the drive. But it was one of the two things that was there that was worth going to see.
Yeah. The Athena was a nice machine. And the Athena 2 is shaping up to be a really nice one as well. I want to be really clear. Yes, we've been talking to them for a year, but as you know, and I've had this conversation with Akuma multiple times, there's only so many printers
and you can't have more.
And you don't get all of them. You don't get all of them. Our channel is nowhere near big enough to mean that we're not a Joel, we're not an Uncle Jesse, right? Where we've got 100, 200, 500,000 subscribers. Our channel isn't big enough to mean that we go to the top of everybody's list. There are certain people like PioCreat and like Snapmaker and Elegoo and people like that who have chosen to work with us. And I have to be so clear. I know how privileged we are to get these machines.
We've only got to look at the two machines that's sitting behind me.
They don't. Yeah. You know, none of these companies owe us as a channel anything, right? They owe the community something, and we try to service the community. But these companies don't owe us anything. But we don't owe them anything either. We don't do affiliate links. We don't.
Luckily, James likes servicing groups of people.
We do get to keep the machines.
I said, luckily, you like servicing groups of people.
Yeah, yeah, certainly at those parties. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, we'll end the stream for tonight, and we'll crack on with this, trying to get some more prints out of it, trying to do and get the review video out, hopefully in the next week. I do need to wait for the refill stuff to turn up, so it really does depend on when that's going to arrive, and then we can do the test prints. But what we'll do, as Mike said, we'll try and do an 8K, a 12K, and a 16K. All printers need to try and be the same size so that we get the same pixel density.
That's going to be difficult.
So that's going to be a bit tricky. But,
we haven't got a large 12K printer.
I mean, we can do. This isn't large. This is 10.1 inches. 9.7.
So the only 8 we've got
the same.
Is the Frozen.
Yeah, but the problem is the pixels on a 15-inch screen are
significantly
more stretched out. So it's all right. We'll figure something out. Well, I might ask one of my local friends if I can borrow one of their AKs. I know people. You're not the only one who goes to fancy like little Warhammer parties and like, nosh each other off in dark rooms. Whatever. I've got to work, I suppose. Right, anyway, thank you very much for joining. Hot Tuna says that he's subbed. Thank you very much for the subscribe. Anybody else who is watching who isn't subscribed already, please feel free to subscribe. It does help the channel out massively. We will catch you on the next video. We've got some really cool stuff